Okay, welcome to the February roundtable discussion. We are changing the time up on this one, obviously, to later in the afternoon, trying to pick a time that works for more participants and looking at who all's piped in so far. Looks like we've got about 10 or 11 of you, so that's a good sign that things are, that y'all are wanting to pipe in and see this. Hopefully, everybody can see my screen for those of you that are on the web and are looking through this. So what we're going to cover today is, if I can find the cursor, there we go. We're going to give you an update on the new cart progress. We'll talk a little bit about Amazon and HP, the freight costs between wholesalers and what we're trying to do about it, and then LPRs coming out of Ascendant. So first things first, give you a little bit of update on the new cart. Earlier this year, we split the carts into two. We originally had everybody between a SPR and Ascendant all on one cart, but due to unit of measure issues, we had to look at trying to figure out how to fix it, and the best way we could fix it is to split them. So we did this for a couple different reasons. One was the SPR marketing was not as effective as Ascendant's was, and then also to fix this unit of measure issue. Basically, what the unit of measure issue was about was items from SPR and Ascendant who had the same part number. Believe it or not, SPR had a different unit of measure on some of those items, and this affected about 1,800 items. So we went through and separated it, and this issue has been fixed. And hopefully going forward, we're not going to have any issues. Now, this is what caused people to have to log in with the 7715 and the 7950 login ID, and this is only on the new cart. So hopefully we've got all that squared away and no one's having any issues or anything. One thing that's come up is the speed of the cart as far as when loading. One thing that we're going to do starting March 1st, we're actually going to take the featured items and we're going to move those to be rather than a priced item, we're going to put rebates up there and try and accommodate the speed issue that way. We're also going to look at limiting the number of order forms on the right-hand side. One thing we found out is we were updating for Smart Deals flyers, and generally there's only 12 partners that are actually taking part in Smart Deals flyers. Out of those 12, only one of us is on the new cart. So it doesn't make sense for us to load something no one's using. So we're looking to fix that from that standpoint. We're also looking to add more content. We're looking at different approaches on different other wholesalers that we tie in with, such as Supplies Wholesaler and even Supplies Network, who has a few other items as well. So we're looking to that and going to see how we can intertwine this. And for those of you who are looking for the integration, it is in sight. I will tell you that Colin has started writing code. Randolph has made the commitment and started making a generous payment to begin the writing of the code that makes the shopping cart and Confluence talk to each other. We hope to be actually troubleshooting and practicing uploads on the month of March. And I can't guarantee this, but maybe by the latest part, end of April, we'll have this integrated and people like Daryl Reed can actually come over to the new cart.
Hey, Tom.
Yes, sir.
I have a question about the Smart Deals on the cart. I know that that Ascendant has Smart Deals that go out, and I haven't, and I didn't know about those. I'm just starting to send them out now. So I don't know if Smart Deals needs to come off the page, or we all need to have the Indoff side of the marketing department push the smart deals out on our email blasts?
May not be a bad option to do the later of that. Cliff, by all means, if the great thing about this cart is if we want to take and put say smart deals on Cliff Waldeck's customers only, we can change the format around just for Cliff, and we can make sure we do that.
Okay, good. So it's not so we can opt in or out on that. Okay, I got that. Thanks.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't need to sell the entire team on having to do that. Okay, I got that. Okay. All right.
But as far as the integration, guys, this is originally, you remember at NSM last April, I told you that unfortunately it doesn't tie in. They are working on the language, and the solution will be upon us hopefully fairly quickly. Before I move on to the next thing, has anybody got any questions about the new card?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Now this next thing is going to I want y'all to sit down for this and understand what I'm about to tell you. This is something that is actually going to give us more benefit. Late 2017, HP approached Indoff about selling product on Amazon. The main purpose of doing this is HP realized that they had a lot of renegade sellers out there that are selling below MAP pricing, and they're selling black market material basically. We were one of 50 dealers that was asked to do this. As of today, there's only about 30 of us actually opened on Amazon as a reseller. Now, before y'all think that this is a glamorous, well, hold on. Before you think this is a glamorous thing, I can tell you from the next slide I'm about to show you, this is a pain in the butt. The only people making money on Amazon is Amazon. But here's the reason we wanted to do this with the HP, especially. Beginning next week, March 1st, HP is about to roll out another MAP pricing change that'll take about 60 to 90 days to basically roll out before they start cracking down on resellers. But they're cracking down on Amazon themselves. So this is where we should start seeing some of those items being sold on there at MAP pricing should go away. So it should help us in the long run, but it also gives us other opportunities to study Amazon. It's kind of like having an inside secret into the back door. So let me take you through.
I don't quite. Oh.
Go ahead, Cliff.
Oh, no. I wanted to wait until you're done.
Okay.
Because you might just answer the question I'm about to ask. Yeah.
Okay. One thing that this does allow us to do, any sales that we are having on here, it allows us to capture who that market is and who's buying that. And what we'd like to do is, say, for example, if someone's buying on Amazon from Huntsville, Alabama, what we want to do is turn that lead over to Daryl and say, Daryl, go over here. Here's what they're buying. See what you can do. And see if it's something that you can play in that arena with. So from that standpoint, it does make a little bit of sense. But I will tell you, so far, we've had 2 orders on Amazon, and they were not for HP product, but they were for 2 Alera sit stand desks that I had put on there just to see what the process was. And I'm happy to report that we lost $140 on those 2 orders.
Well worth it, huh?
Well worth it. Well worth it. So when everybody says, "Oh, selling on Amazon is a great thing," here's why I'm gonna tell you it's not. Okay. One thing that we have to do is a fee structure. There's a $39.99 per month charge that we get charged for selling on their platform. Amazon's fees are outrageous. So, for example, on the first $100, there's a 15% surcharge that Amazon collects. After that, now $100 being the sale price, so say you sell something at $300, it's 15%, and then the $101 to $300 range is 8% per $100. So, all you mathematics out there that are strong in math, realize real quick there's $30 gone to Amazon just for hosting it. Then we're responsible for the shipping. So even with our best shipping costs from Ascendant or SP, we've still got to factor that in. So here's where we've lost money on these items. So as we study this, I will report back to you and tell you what we're doing to kind of create things on here. Does this mean that we're going to put other items on there? There's a possibility, yes, we will put other items on Amazon so we can study it more. The HP items, for example, let me talk specifically to HP items, where we have not sold the first HP item on Amazon, and the reason being is because most of everybody is selling below MAP pricing. So by the time you take our cost from Azerty or SPR, factor in the Amazon fee, it's actually about 2% higher than what MAP pricing is at the end of the day, or right at MAP pricing on certain items. So everybody else is selling at MAP pricing. There's no money to be made on this. Everybody follow me on that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
We can take as long as you've got questions and stuff, and I'll try and answer the best of them I can before I move on to the next category. Anybody have any questions about Amazon?
Do we actually think it'll be a situation where the new pricing structure will allow us to make money there?
I wouldn't anticipate it, John. I'll be honest with you. My thought process on that is to basically do it for marketing, as basically so we can get leads, real leads from that area, and pass them on to the partners. I don't really see us making money on Amazon at all. I think Amazon's the only one who makes money. Now, keep in mind one thing. Amazon also, as you know, has several distribution centers throughout the country. Some of them have 2-hour delivery. Some of them are using Uber to make deliveries with. But we're actually competing with Amazon itself. So there's two different areas of Amazon. We have a Amazon selling coach that helps us along with this process, who kind of says, hey, you're not the lowest here, but you're not the highest. Here's the middle of the market where you might want to look at your pricing. That's all well and good as long as you don't lose money. And then that's where even that guy is having to compete with internally against his own Amazon company. So Amazon stocks items and ships for themselves. And they say that they charge the same 15% to themselves. Now, I'm no rocket scientist or anything, but I'm not buying that. So people, like I said, people are selling on Amazon. If they're selling office products, they're not making a lot of money in the long run, is my gut feeling.
Right.
Hey,
So
Tom, it's Clifford. Oh. The
Is he good
So,
with Amazon still?
John, hold on a minute. What, Cliff?
wanted to ask, so if somebody orders something off of Indoff on Amazon in my area, I just get sent like a heads up that these guys have bought through Indoff and kind of use that as a familiarization with Indoff. Because if they end up buying from Indoff, one of the biggest hurdles for me is that, nobody's heard of Indoff. So anything that kind of gets me, closer to a prospect in the first place, it's a good thing. But it is a good thing to know, like, how Amazon works. And the only bad situation is, and this is overthinking it, somebody says, well, how come you're selling me this toner for this much? Because I could buy it from Indoff on Amazon for that much. But I also think people that are like that, you don't really want to do business with, the people that grind you on every single thing. It's kind of like just going out for blind bids, it's a race to zero.
Pretty much. At the end of the day, that's pretty much what it is. And I think you kind of hit it nail on the head with, if customers are buying on Amazon, I'll tell you this, if we find out even our own customers are buying on Amazon, don't you want to have that leverage of information on there?
Oh, totally. Because, yeah.
Yeah. Now, if we run across an item, and keep in mind, we're still working through some of the different items on there. If we see something on there that is a customer that belongs to you, the partner, you will get credit for that. However, you will not want to get credit on it if it's at a loss. I can guarantee that.
Right. Give that to the other guy.
Well, right now, this is assigned to the house account. As far as where basically where there's no commission being made, in other words. So, but if we find your customers on here, we will give you the credit on that. So don't feel like that, you're in competition with Indoff Corporate, because you are not at all. And I really can't stress this part enough. You're not in competition with Indoff Corporate. Everybody hear me and understand that, right?
Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
John, you had a question a minute ago. What's up?
Other with the new pricing structure, I'm sorry, I've lost the actual question that I was going to ask you. I'm like 14 questions ahead now, but I would like to talk to you about Amazon offline, just you and I at some point, if you don't mind.
Okay.
There's a lot of things with Amazon where, you bring a client, you bring somebody to Amazon for them to purchase. And once the code is set, if they buy other products, then you can make a commission off of those products that are purchased as well. And, how is that going to play into this whole scheme and that type of thing as well?
Well,
And are any of us going to be able to do it as individual partners, or is it just going to be managed at a corporate level?
for right now, I'll go ahead and say it's going to be managed at a corporate level. And the reason I say that is because to set up each individual partner, we have to go through the $39.99 a month commitment. I do not believe at this point Jim wants to set up everybody individually, because keep in mind the process of this was for us to study the Amazon process, because there are other items that we could throw out there that we might be competitive with. And that's why I'm saying that if one of your customers is out there, we're fact checking it against against the Indoff customer base. So when I get one of those orders that comes through, because I'm the one processing them right now, I would go out and check it to see if we already have that customer in place with somebody. If it belongs to Barbaratus, I'm going to give her a heads up that, hey, this customer of yours is ordering on this, and walk her through how to do it. And, we'll keep up with the commission structure, etc. But for right now, I'll tell you this, I don't foresee us looking at and I've looked at 500 plus items outside of HP, and I've bounced them against what they call the seller's coach. Most of those items come back with such a low margin that even after freight, we either break even or we lose money. And I don't know where they're procuring those things at. Keep in mind, Amazon stocks a lot of stuff themselves. They stock a lot of moving items, moving SKUs that they'll buy direct from HP. They'll buy direct from manufacturers that we buy from on some instances. So I don't really see it being a money maker overall.
Yeah, the key is to find the products that they don't stock. That's the way you're going to make money with it. But, as well as being able to be competitive against the other people. So, sorry, it's one of my fascinations. I study Amazon. So,
yeah. So before we move on to it, anybody else got any Amazon questions? Okay. I assure you we're doing this to study Amazon because we need to know the ins and outs of it every day so that we can go back to our wholesalers. And, the old game, knowledge is powerful, and sometimes wholesalers don't want you to know everything. So if we know how to compete against Amazon, then by golly, we need to take advantage of that and do it. So, some of the questions last week came up about shipping costs, so thought it'd be a good time to review some of these right now and the way it's broken down. SP has higher shipping costs than Ascendant right now. They used to be more in line with each other, but we're going to address this with Jim Guntley this week as far as our shipping rate for 2018, which I look at this and think, okay, this is almost like an Amazon. $16 on the first $100. Shipping charges is a little high, in my opinion.
I agree.
And then after that, 16% over $100 is ridiculous as well. That's almost, by the time you factor it, they're almost 2-to-1 over Ascendant. Now, Ascendant and SP, as far as price structures go, are right now within 1% of each other overall. I know you've seen some items that are higher than others and vice versa, but when you look at the total matrix, they're within 1%. So what we need to do, and Pam and I have started mentioning this to Jim Guntley and kind of let him know we're not very happy with these shipping rates. But for right now, this is where they're at. Ascendant, one thing they did this year, they raised their minimum dollar to $147 for the 1346. I think if you remember, it used to be $12.88 or something like that for up to $110, something like that, and they bumped it up. But in the end, if you look at your average ticket sale, you're paying 9% of freight if you're doing NED. I know a lot of y'all do your own deliveries and you don't have to worry about things like this. So, for all the NED partners out there, we're trying to, keep these in line. One thing I would strongly encourage you to do is pull up your partner customer analysis form. And we've gone over this last month, but you need to look at it and see where your most ticketed items, as far as the average order is and see what you can do to boost those orders up. If you have a lot of orders that are below $50, you need to really address that with your customers. If you have orders in the, to me, a sweet spot's 125 to 150 range. That way you get a little bit, better shipping rates on those items. Anything above that is awesome as well, as you can imagine. So you need to start thinking about looking at that partner customer analysis form and do it on a weekly basis so you understand where your business is and everything. I look at it almost like it's a balance sheet to your business, from knowing what's going on. Because remember, in that form, it also shows you your aging report, and everybody wants to make sure Sherry stays happy. Miss Bledsoe and stuff is not very happy when we don't look at aging. And I don't like getting reminders, and I know y'all don't either. So just keep that in mind. Does anybody have any questions on the shipping item right now?
Tom, it's Clifford. I just, I think, on the smaller order world, I'm well aware of that I need to get those orders up. And I would rather see the small order fee go up than the percentage on the larger order fees go up, because we're all like fishing for the small fish, with the hope of or the plan of getting bigger fish. So when we do get the bigger fish or bigger orders, $500,000, $5,000, we want to make sure that we're making the money on it, not the freight charges.
Absolutely, Cliff. That's a good point. One thing that I would do, if you're running into that and you want to know roughly how to get those orders up, one thing the new cart does allow you to do is coupons. And I know for one thing with my customers, I ran into this problem where I kept on getting a lot of $75 orders, and they really, at the end of the day, after I did, net shipping on those that had to go out, found that I wasn't making any money. So what I did, I incentivized the customer and told them, I said, look, if you order $150 or more, I'll give you a 5% rebate. And by doing that, not only did they order 150, they ordered 175, 200, 289. Because what it allowed them to do is to slow their process down of, well, maybe I didn't really just need those 2 cartons of paper today. I could put it with some other items and combine it. And that was a instant savings for them that they were going to spend anyway, but I gave them a reason to move that dollar amount up. So indirectly, if you do the 5% on 150, believe it or not, your customers actually like that, and you can still be competitive. So, any other questions on this? Okay. Last but not least, Ascendant on April 1st is going to roll out to their first call partners a local partner rebate, also known as LPRs. This is a growth incentive for you to something that we have not had. Pam, I think you're online. It's been about 6 years at least since we had any rebates coming back to partners, I believe, correct?
Sorry, I had to unmute my phone because I was making noise. Yeah, it's been about that long. I don't remember the exact time frame.
Okay.
Really small rebates from SPR. I don't really know what they are anymore,
but you used to get them, Barb?
I used to get bigger ones, but that's because I used to be an Advantage dealer. So when I didn't pay for the Advantage membership, when they started charging for it, the bigger rebates went away. But I get small rebates
from SPR, though, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's one thing on the SPR side that we're going to ask them about this week as well. For our members who stopped paying the I think it was, and now it's up to 1,800 or 2,200 a year for the Advantage program. You don't really, at the end, maybe Barb, maybe you can testify to this. Did you actually make that money back up when it was all said and done?
When I was an Advantage member, they didn't charge for membership, so everything was, the rebates were freebie, and all the conferences were all free. And when they started charging, I didn't pay. I never actually became an Advantage member once they started charging.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, when they were first charging $1,000, I would have made it up because the rebates I was getting the year before were over $1,000 a year.
Right.
So, but now that it's up to 1,800, that's another story.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of those things that even SP will tell you that they have problems with dealerships not buying into that, and certain ones are just based on volume. They allow those people to have a volume as long as they're growing. They'll give them that advantage for free. As you know, in the BP division, we have not been growing for some time, and that's part of what my role is to try and pinpoint where we're going and roll, try and incentivize us to get those numbers up so that we can maintain a competitive edge in the BP business world. As far as this Ascendant LPR, we went back and forth with Mike about this, but this one's actually pretty good. He actually came back with higher numbers than what we originally asked for. So minimum growth, 3.5%. All right, so do basic math. If you're doing $100,000 in business, that's $3,500 in new business. That's where, you can get a little bit of a rebate. Now, the rebate's not going to be based off of your total dollar amount. It's going to be based off your growth. So if last year you did 200,000 and this year you did 225, depending on which matrix it falls in, you'll either get a 5, 6, or 7% rebate directly to you. Certain items obviously are not going to be counted towards that, and we'll get more details about this from Mike over the month of March. But effective April 1st, if you want to sign up for it and be eligible, contact Mike Dotson. So does anybody have any questions about the LPRs?
So to contact Mike Dotson, we just email him and copy you and say, sign me up for the LPR?
You don't even have to copy me, Cliff. You can just reach out to Mike and he'll take care of you.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
LPR. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. And Cliff, you're a good example because you're going to be running over numbers since you started in December. You're going to be running over numbers from last year when you weren't here. Now,
when I sold like $37 my first month. Yeah,
that's exactly right. So it's a good thing. This is tied directly to the partners, and what'll happen is Mike will send out quarterly statements for your rebate, or however they're going to work that out, and it'll come directly to NDOF Corporate. They'll pass through it on your paychecks. So, any questions about this? Okay. As always, thank you for your time. And now we've got, a little bit of time. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about?
How do I?
Cliff, go ahead.
I've signed up for the e-deals with Ascendant, and I really want to take a deeper dive into the beverages and snacks, just because that's something that people buy over and over again. But how do we get everything that Ascendant is offering to its dealers, because Ascendant for me, especially in the furniture world, I mean, if I can turnkey it anything by the next day, that's what I want to focus on.
Cliff, let me ask you this. Are you set up on Empower?
Yes.
Okay. Are you set up on Solution Central? You should be. If you're set up
Yes.
on one,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Go under
Yeah.
Solution Central and look under the resources tab, and in there is PDFs and price files. What you can do then is get with Elizabeth or Morgan in the marketing department and see if you can download some stuff and price files and see if they can actually help you with custom slicks. I know that we have a marketing program that allows us to do some customizable items such as that, and I'm going to refer you over to Adam's group and see if they can help you out.
Cool. And I'm in touch with those folks, but that is a good suggestion how to best go about it, because I'm a big fan of give a guy a fish, he eats for a day, you teach him to fish, he eats for a lifetime.
There you go. And I'm still a bad fisherman, no matter how big I am. John Erickson, you got a question, I know, because I can feel it.
I got lots of questions, but are they appropriate for this call? That's always the issue.
Just keep in mind, Tiger Pam is on the call.
I know. That's why I'm holding my tongue. Pam, you know I love you.
Yeah, I'm well aware. I'm well aware, John. I'm just enjoying listening at the moment.
No, I'm looking at it going, these are all good things. I'm glad to see the integration piece that's going forward. I'll be happy to volunteer to run some of that testing if you would like. Just let me know. That's really about it. The only other thing I would like to talk to you about a little bit is Amazon, but we can do that offline because, I'd probably get into it with you way deeper than most of these people would want to hear.
Probably so. Okay, let's go to the...
I'm with you, John.
What's that?
So I do have a question, though, regarding Amazon. So are the wholesalers actually selling to Amazon kind of like the way they are selling to us? Amazon's one of their accounts, or are they selling direct through Amazon? And the reason why I'm asking is I sell this one customer, probably over 200 to 300 chairs a year of the Laurel 86200 chair. And one person in one division ended up finding it online, and it was cheaper than my cost, which is what made me start checking into it. So as we were on the phone, I just got into Amazon to check to see what is that chair selling for. Our cost is around $148, and Amazon has it for $155.44. And I'm trying to see what vendor it's coming from, and it just says ships from and sold by Amazon.com, and it's not giving me another vendor. Like sometimes it'll tell you shipping from whatever company. So is SP Richards, and I know I can find the same thing with Alara because I did that before as well. Are they selling direct through Amazon, or maybe they're selling to Amazon as one of their customers, or how does that work with the wholesaler relationship? Do you know?
Well, from what I've seen so far, you kind of like stumbled right across the same thing we did. If you ask Jim Guntley or Mike Dodson, the company line that they're going to tell you is no, it's not being done. However, one thing I have found out, and many of you know this as dealing with your reps also, the wholesalers only tell the reps enough to be dangerous and don't give them the full scrutiny of everything going on. So having said that, my gut feeling is yes, Barb, there is a sales rep or sales group within SP and or Ascendant that is looking to move numbers on their bottom line. So yes, I would say that that's an avenue that they are doing that with. Yes.
part of the deal is that Alera as a manufacturer go direct to Amazon and sell direct to Amazon. So what happens is it takes Ascendant out of the picture, and they say, we're not selling to Amazon, but Alera is.
That's exactly
Because
right.
Alera is a separate company. Same with many of the other, manufacturers that are out there. They're selling direct to Amazon because Amazon's coming to them and say, hey, if I buy these, what can I get them for? I had a situation where a customer was looking for some mobile carts, and I ended up buying them through Amazon because the manufacturer wouldn't sell them to me for the $65 less per unit that I could buy them for on Amazon. And that's after confronting them about it. They said, we just, we can't compete with that price. And it's like, okay, well, I went and bought the, 10 or 12 carts or whatever it was from them directly and had them shipped to me and took them to the customer.
Well, I had a situation where I needed they were some carts or something, if I remember correctly, it was quite a while ago, for big garbage cans to sit on, for lack of the proper terminology. They were like big, huge garbage cans, and they were Rubbermaid carts, and SP Richards didn't stock them any longer, so I couldn't get them through them. And I ended up getting on Amazon and finding them, and I had them shipped directly to me because I didn't know how the package was going to come in, and I thought I better check these before they go to the customer. And they came, the packages had SP Richards, Houston, Texas all over it. That's where they came from. Which is what made me think they're selling direct through Amazon.
Well, I'm not going to say they're not. I mean, Barb, there's evidence of it right there. But I will tell you this. The guys we've got as far as the national reps, Mike and Jim, I believe to be genuine people who, and I've dealt with several reps like you guys have, and I can tell you that these guys really want us to succeed. Been on many calls with them, trying to get a better deal for us on different things. And in all honesty, I really think they want us to succeed, but they also are puppets and someone's holding their strings.
Well, they also need to make a profit, and they're going to make sales any way they can.
Exactly. Who else has got something?
Well, thank you very much, Tom.
Thank y'all for attending. I want to do a special shout out to Mr. Darrell Reed. And his football team on the national championship did come back to beat my Dogs. And Darrell, I just go ahead and acknowledge that it's okay. There's no hard feelings there. We're still buddies, but first Saturday in December, I look to see you again. Okay.
Hey, I'm sorry. I just woke up. Are you starting the seminar now?
Goodbye, guys.
Roll Tide. See y'all later.